Hello and welcome to the not so dark side of the moon on the edge. So I've got something a little special today. It is the Chris Reeves small Sebenza 21, but a special anniversary limited edition version. So this is the Lunar Landing version. I'm sure all of this stuff has given it away. My little lunar lander over there and the graphic on the knife. Yeah, this knife has had a lot of coverage already, but it was really nice to get this in hand, and I thought I would share this with you. So before we carry on, I'm going to very gingerly and carefully take my lunar lander out of the way without making lunar lander sounds, whatever they are. And then we'll have a good look at this little knife. So first of all, I just want to say a big thank you to my good friend Bowen for allowing me to fondle, shall we say, his knife for a while. But I really appreciate him lending this to me to have a look at and put on the channel. So what I'm going to do is and go through the normal stuff. I probably don't need to. I mean, the Sebenza 21, it has been reviewed so many times and is such a well-known and iconic knife. But I'll just go through that and have that on there anyway. So I'll do materials, dimensions, and then we'll speak about the design and some of the special features of this knife. So we have a blade steel of CPM S35 VN. The handle is titanium and it is sandblasted on the one side, and I'll speak about those markings a little bit later. And then we've got the graphic on the other side of the knife. Then we've also got a chrysocolla cabochon inlay, and I'll speak about that a little bit later as well. And phosphor bronze washers on the inside, and the pocket clip is titanium. Let's go through dimensions really quickly. So we've got a blade length of 7.6 centimeters or 2.94 inches. The blade thickness is 3 millimeters or 0.12 inches. The closed length of this knife is 10.1 centimeters or 101 millimeters, and that is 3.97 inches. And then let's look at the weight of this little guy. And let's pop that on there and get it nicely centered up. Right, I've got the weights from one of the websites, but might as well check it and see what it looks like on my scale. So let's see, in ounces we have 2.9 ounces. I had 3 ounces from one website, so 2.9 ounces on my scale, and that is 81 grams, and I had 80 from another website, but there you go, there or thereabouts. Gives you an idea of that. Right, now let's have a look at this really interesting commemorative edition knife. So this knife was produced to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the lunar landing. And so produced in 2019. In fact, I may as well just show you that now. So there's its little certificate of birth. As you can see at the bottom there, lunar landing with chrysocolla, December 23rd, 2019. So this one, its date of birth, according to this card, just before Christmas, and just made it into the right year, being the 50th anniversary year. Brilliant, cool. That lunar landing, as if anybody doesn't know, was the 20th of July 1969, Apollo 19, with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin touching down onto the moon, and Michael Collins circling the moon in the command module. Right, so let's have a look a little at this knife a little bit closer. Well, let's go through the normal stuff first of all. So we got a drop point blade with stonewash finish. I mentioned the sandblasted titanium handle, so that's all the normal fare on a Sebenza knife, and then that really beautiful graphic there. So as you can see there, we've got the lunar surface, you got the lunar lander in the background, and then the astronaut, and I'm assuming that would be Neil Armstrong, could be Buzz Aldrin, with the reflection of the American flag in the visor, and then that chrysocolla cabochon or cabochon inlay, that's better, over there. So that merely to depict the Earth as seen from the surface of the moon. And just as a matter of interest, the cabochon merely means that it is a polished gemstone rather than a faceted stone. So that's what that means. And then Chrysocolla is a gemstone that is a copper gemstone. That's how it's described. And the color can range from a light green to a deep blue. And you can see they've obviously gone for the blue to depict the earth here. So yeah, really beautifully done. So that's been CNC machined onto the surface, and it is a computer generated graphic. Chris Reeve's logo on there, and all the rest of the stuff, I think pretty much the same as, you know, any other Chris Reeve's knives, the thumb stud and the jimping and so on. So let's look at the lock side, and this is, to me, is just like, is so cool. So we've got the little graphic there, and that depicts a boot print on the surface of the moon. And then the number we've got etched onto the blade there, or engraved onto the blade there, stamped. I'm not really sure what the process was, but very neatly and crisply done. That is the duration of the mission. So we have 8 days, 3 hours, 18 minutes, and 35 seconds. That is just so very cool, and makes this knife absolutely so desirable. But the knife is desirable to me, I suppose, for a few other reasons. For one, the fact that it is that lunar landing, which happened when I was just a couple of years old. But I remember growing up and my dad having, you know, the special edition insert from the newspaper at the time and poring over that. So there's that side of it. It had happened. This actually happened when I was already born, albeit when I was very young. But Chris Reeves as well, you know, fellow countryman. He hails from South Africa. So that makes it special to me. In fact, the first time I was exposed to Chris Reeves, I met him in inverted commas. I was with my dad. I was in my teens, and we went to a local knife show for the South African Knife Makers Guild. And that was being held at the Royal Hotel in Durban. And my dad actually bought a knife from Chris Reeves that specific day. So we stood in front of Chris Reeves' table, and he had his knives packed out. This was when he was still residing in South Africa and was still I suppose, relatively unknown South African knife maker. It's before he made his sort of international name for himself. And then, of course, the fact that Chris Reeves was the inventor, I suppose, was the first guy to do the integrated lock, so the frame-locked knife. But need I say any of that? Chris Reeves, so well known and so iconic in the knife world. But yeah, just special to me for all those reasons. Sebenza, of course, we know everybody's spoken about that as well. So it's a local word in both Zulu and Xhosa. And that literally means to work. And then, of course, Sebenza well is a suburb, not a city, Nick. It is a suburb of the greater Johannesburg, actually falls into the greater Ekurhuleni area. And it's actually a stone's throw from me as well. It's a light industrial area, really appropriate to the name. But anyway, I thought I'd share that. So this knife really special to me for so many reasons, but beautifully done. So guys, not really a review, but I'm just sharing this little guy with you. I got it in my hand, and I thought it was worth sharing with you as well. So many reviews and other people that go into more detail on this knife with more knowledge than me as well. But like I say, it was nice to have it in hand, and I just thought I'd share it with you. It would be nice to have this on the channel as well. So, you know, you might be able to find one somewhere, maybe on the secondary market, or maybe there's one floating around for sale somewhere. But I don't know if I'm going to return this to Bo, and I think I'm just going to tell him that it got lost somewhere. So it is really nice. It'll go well with all my other lunar landing and Apollo mission, pre-lunar landing as well, with my collection on that stuff. So great stuff. That's it, guys. That's really, like I say, that's all I really have for you today. Not really a review, but just a little look at this beauty while I've got it in my hands. And so let's pop that under there so we can get him at a nice angle. How's that? And then I'll get my little lunar lander back in shot here. And I think that's really all I have for you. Like I say, if you want more information on this or Chris Reeves' knife, there is so much information out there already. And I suppose when I get my first Sebenza, I'll do a proper review on it. But for now, that's it. Guys, so once again, thanks so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it, and I would equally appreciate it if you would subscribe and hit that bell icon. I'd love you to join me more often. And other than that, you go well, and God bless.